Top court slams Naidu government. Supreme Court says keep politics away from God. Probe into beef, pork fat in Prasadam. SIT probes Prasadam adulteration. Tirumala becomes big political battlefield. Prasadam, piety and politics.
Very good evening. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime. I'm Nabila Jamal, and that's our top focus. The Tirupati Laddu controversy was heard in the Supreme Court today, with the court pulling up the Andhra Pradesh government, Chandrababu Naidu government, for speaking to the press much before the SIT report, the probe report on the matter came about, and also suspecting that this could be political play that's doing the rounds, smelling something suspicious into this case. We're going to take you through those details. The headlines first. More trouble mounting for Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, with the ED now likely to book Siddaramaiah in the Muda scam case. Sources say ED studying the Lokayukta FIR may book Siddaramaiah under PMLA. PDP Neta Iltija Mufti triggers big row condemning the killing of Hezbollah chief Nasrallah. Protests erupt in Jammu and Kashmir over Nasrallah's death. Home Minister Amit Shah slams the Congress chief, calling Kharge disgraceful for dragging Prime Minister Modi into his personal health issues.
अब मेरे को तो 83 years चल रहे हैं, इतना जल्दी मरने वाला नहीं हूँ। जब तक मोदी को नहीं हटाएंगे तब तक मैं जिंदा ही रहूँगा।
Big relief for Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Karnataka High Court stays probe against the Finance Minister in the electoral bonds case. An FIR was lodged against her on 27th of September. Anti-Hindu hate rises in Bangladesh. Open call for violence issued. Radical Islamists march to demand a ban on Durga Puja festivities. Markets in the red. Sensex tanks by 1,272 points, while Nifty tumbles by 368 points. Over 3 lakh crore rupees investor wealth wiped off. We're looking at the Tirupati temple Laddu controversy. Amid the row here, we understand the Supreme Court received multiple petitions asking for an independent probe into this case. The top court now, observing this matter, has pulled up the Andhra Pradesh government for running to the media and making statements before the press, even before the SIT could complete its probe and file a report. In fact, the Supreme Court has asked netas to keep God away from politics, smelling something fishy into this controversy. In fact, Chandrababu Naidu, remember, who made claims of pig fat or beef and fish oil being used in Tirupati Prasadam, at this point has been pulled up by the Supreme Court itself, asking why make such sweeping statements even before probe comes to an end. We're looking at a parallel investigation right now being carried out by the SIT from the state government. Let me take you through a detailed report on what the top court has observed in this case.
Unrelenting row over possible beef and pig fat in Tirupati Prasadam.
దేవుని దగ్గర పెట్టే ప్రసాదం అపవిత్రం చేసే విధంగా ఓసారి బాధేస్తుంది. నాసి రకమైన ఇంగ్రీడియంట్సే కాకుండా ఎనిమల్ ఫ్యాట్ కూడా వాడారని.
Days after Andhra Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu claimed that the famous laddus are adulterated, Supreme Court pulled him up for rushing to the press while the probe is underway. The apex court took dim view of the incident and said at least gods should be kept away from politics. The top court asserted that the case is a matter of devotion for millions and not just another political battle to deal with.
And what we are seeking in this matter, the first, there should be a committee, a judicial committee headed by the retired judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. And second is regarding to the CBI investigation in this matter. So Supreme Court took the positive response in this matter and issued notice to all the respondents.
Supreme Court also noted that Naidu spoke about Tirupati Laddus even before the FIR was filed or an SIT was constituted. The top court asked Solicitor General Tushar Mehta to seek instructions from the centre on whether an investigation by the central agency is required and posted the matter for further hearing on Thursday.
Being a Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, one state, how can you make these big allegations without any inquiry, without any proof, without any baseless allegations? Clearly, Supreme Court asked it. So that definitely on 3rd we will definitely know it.
On Monday, the SIT also began its probe and visited warehouses and rest houses to check how the adulteration took place inside the Tirupati temple. Andhra Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu had cited lab reports to claim the act of sacrilege at the revered shrine and said that under erstwhile Jagan government, ghee used for laddus were adulterated with beef and pork fat.
Special investigation team that has arrived here in Tirupati has been here conducting meetings and inspections in across various locations, checking the quality of the flour mill, the rice mill, or even the milk and ghee tankers which arrive here as per the tender supplied and issued after clearances from the DTD board. At Tirumala, with video journalist Prasad, Apurva Jayachandran, India Today.
All right, now let me quickly take you through what the Supreme Court has observed here while pulling up the Chandrababu Naidu government in Andhra Pradesh. The TDP government has been pulled up for literally rushing into speaking to the media even before an investigation could complete on its behalf. In fact, what the court says here very clearly is that God should be kept away from any kind of politics. That's what the court has said, asking why the Chandrababu Naidu government has made statements when a current probe by the SIT team is still underway. So while probe is underway, why should you be making statements, premeditated statements before the media? In fact, the court there clearly observing that the SIT is investigating into this matter, but yet the Chandrababu Naidu government deemed fit to express its grievances to the media much after the lab report had come out. In fact, the lab report came out, the test was done somewhere around July. The report came out about a week or two later, but it was released before the media in the second week of September. So the court also observing why was there so much gap from the time the report was that came to your hand to the time you actually released it to the media. What was the reason for that delay? And all the more looking at this case very closely, the Supreme Court has observed that the lab report prima facie indicates that rejected ghee was tested, basically to suggest that the ghee that was used in the prasadam, that basically went for test, was not the same ghee that was used to make the prasadam. That the ghee that was found to be adulterated was tested, but that was not the ghee that was used to make the prasadam. A clear demarcation that the court has set here. Andhra Pradesh government said that prasadam tainted without solid proof. This is what the court has said very clearly, saying that even without proper proof at hand, before the SIT investigation could submit a report on this case, the Andhra government has jumped the gun and declared it as adulterated, as substandard, and that animal fat was used in it, overseeing and disregarding the faith and the trust that scores of devotees have in the Tirumala Tirupati temple. Let me quickly cut across to Shrishti Ojha, our correspondent who's been very closely tracking the court's developments, the hearing today. To tell us a little more, Shrishti, we see that the court has clearly pulled up the Andhra Pradesh government. Jagan Mohan Reddy has been questioned on multiple levels on the gaps that are seen in this case. In fact, the court asking, are you sure in the first place if this was the adulterated ghee that was used in making the Tirupati Prasadam? Why did you not wait for the investigation to complete to make your statement before the media? What solid proof do you have that Prasadam has been made using animal fat? Multiple questions that all of us, in fact, wanting answers to. The Supreme Court highlighting and underlining that.
Well, definitely, Nabila, it was one of the main highlights, something that the court focused on the most during the hearing. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu's claims regarding Tirupati Laddu, and the court has in fact raised a big question mark on the claims made by him, coming down heavily on the Chief Minister for making such a public statement when the investigation was still under process. The court pointed out that because investigation was found necessary, the Chief Minister made such statement even prior to the FIR was lodged and the SIT was constituted in this case. So according to the court, the top court, it wasn't appropriate on part of a high constitutional functionary like the Chief Minister to make such a statement which could affect sentiments of not just one or two persons, but crores of devotees across the country. That it expects that God should be kept away from politics. In fact, in a note going through the details of the case, say that as of now, there's no concrete evidence yet on record to show that the adulterated ghee or the ghee which was subject matter of the testing was in fact used in the prasad which was distributed to the devotees. So the court says that these statements affect sentiments of multiple people, and what was the hurry? Why? What is the justification for such a statement to have been made when the investigation was still ongoing? In fact, when the FIR wasn't even lodged in the case yet. So we saw the court ask the Solicitor General's assistance who appeared for the Union of India, assistance with regard to who should go ahead and investigate this case. And the next hearing will be crucial because we'll have to see will the SIT, which has now been constituted by the state, be allowed to continue with the probe, or will the top court now ask any independent agency to step into the case? Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Shrishti, for joining us with those details. The court observing those issues and glaring gaps that have been unanswered so far, asking for political parties to leave God away from politics. Let me take you through a quick look into the probe that's currently underway. Tirumala Devasthanam right now is facing a crisis with their laddus being suspected of adulteration, of ghee with animal fat being used to make them. And now to lay that to rest, to lay this controversy to rest, there is an SIT probe that's been launched by the Andhra Pradesh government. So to take you through the timeline, the 22nd of September is when the SIT, headed by IG rank officer, was constituted. They are now extensively, aggressively probing into the quality and standards of making of this prasadam. September 25th, the TTD, the Tirupati Temple Department, they're filing a complaint against ghee supplier AR Dairy. So they've gone ahead and outrightly filed a complaint saying this AR Dairy ghee is substandard, and this is the ghee in question here that could be adulterated with animal fat. September 26th, the Andhra Pradesh government then appoints a 9-member SIT team to probe this case further. In fact, they're now, today itself, we saw many of the teams of the SIT visiting the Tirupati temple. They're visiting several of the mill areas and places where the prasadam is really made, to see the quality checks if they're really matching up to standards. On 28th of September, SIT makes their first visit to the temple for inspection, and that inspection has gone on until date. Now, September 30th, SIT, as I mentioned to you, has visited the warehouse inside the Tirumala temple. I'm mentioning this here only so you have a clear understanding into the aggression with which the SIT currently is probing this case to see if there is any malfunction in the making of the Tirupati laddus. It's cracked down on with immediate effect. Of course, the Supreme Court still continues to observe this matter. The petitions asking for an independent probe into this case. The petitioners, many of them not agreeing with the current SIT probe, saying it's handled and influenced by the current state government. So therefore, we want a judicial probe that's observed by the Supreme Court itself, an independent probe into this controversy, whether or not it's true that these laddus were indeed made with animal fat or not. Let's see what the court has to say with that regard. Shifting our focus to Karnataka, we're looking at more trouble coming in the way of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The Enforcement Directorate likely to be booking Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the Karnataka Muda case, where we're looking at sources giving us information about the ED wanting to step in and take over the probe in the Muda scam. ED is likely to book Siddaramaiah under Money Laundering Act if at all found suspicious. Sources tell us ED currently studying the Lokayukta FIR. In fact, after Lokayukta, which was initially probing this case, it now the ED that will likely step in and probe Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the Muda case. Huge development coming in here. It was just today that BJP ally, the JDS chief, Supremo HD Kumaraswamy, cast aspersions on the Anti-Corruption Bureau, the Lokayukta in Karnataka, being controlled by the state government, the Congress government, and that Siddaramaiah could have very well used his influence to guide the probe in his favor. And just at the same day itself, we have news coming in that now the ED is likely to be stepping in, taking up this investigation. Will also, most likely, if found suspicious, book Chief Minister Siddaramaiah under PMLA. Anaga Keshav, our correspondent, who's been very closely tracking these developments here for us, brings us more. Anaga, more trouble coming in the way of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in Karnataka in the Muda case. It appears the ED now likely to step in and will be booking a case under PMLA involving the Chief Minister. Any reactions from the Congress so far?
Well, Nabila, at this point, the Chief Minister is yet to react on this matter. He says that he is consulting with his legal team of experts on what next to do. But, it appears that the ED will study the FIR that the Lokayukta has filed, where the Chief Minister himself is A1, A2 is his wife Parvati, A3 is Parvati's brother Mallikarjun, and A4 is Devaraju. So the Enforcement Directorate, which is likely to step in, will be studying the FIR, and if found, if there's even a needle of suspicion where there was misuse of power, then, Chief Minister is likely to be booked under the PMLA section. Huge setback for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. In fact, very recently in the state cabinet, they had revoked unrestricted access for CBI's entry into state-related matters. But it appears now every single attempt that was made by the state government to close the doors of the centre is now, the ED has now stepped in to take cognizance of this issue.
We have some big news coming in. Anika, stay with us. Some big news coming in. The ED has booked Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah under PMLA in the Muda case. Huge development there. A massive setback for the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, who so far refused to step down. He says, I'm willing to face the probe, refuses to resign as the Chief Minister. While that happens, we're looking at the ED now booking Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. ED registering a money laundering case against Siddaramaiah. Huge backlash, and in fact at this point we're looking at a setback for Chief Minister undoubtedly. It appears that the BJP is already mounting pressure on the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to resign on moral grounds, and now with the ED booking him under PMLA, all the more incumbent on the Chief Minister to take a moral stand. Will he or won't he? A big question here, whether Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will step down now that the ED has taken action, stepping in and filing a case against Siddaramaiah under PMLA. Prevention for Money Laundering Act, that's the case under which Siddaramaiah has now been booked in by the Enforcement Directorate. Huge development in the Muda case with the ED stepping in now and filing a case against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Now the ED will take over the probe entirely. Whether or not the Lokayukta will continue its probe parallelly still remains to be seen. But here is a central body, Enforcement Directorate, that now steps in, registers a money laundering case against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the Muda scam. Let me cut across to Divyesh Singh, our correspondent, joining us for more on that. Divyesh, please give us more details on ED stepping in, registering a money laundering case against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. What is the grounds? When did they take over this case? And now we see that the case has already been filed. But does it mean the ED will completely handle this case going forward? Will the Lokayukta still be able to continue its probe or not?
For ED, it will be primarily the money laundering investigation that they will look into. The FIR that has been registered by the Lokayukta will be handled by the police because it has been registered under the sections of DNS. That investigation, the DNS part, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita part, the sections under Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita will be investigated by the police. while the money laundering part will be investigated by the ED. Enforcement Directorate, as per our sources, has registered a case against Siddaramaiah and others named in the FIR by Lokayukta, which includes his brother-in-law, his wife BM Parvati, brother-in-law Mallikarjuna Swamy and Devaraju. And this is just come to light from our sources that ED will be launching a money laundering probe, and it could very soon start their probe into the whole scam.
What more do we know? All right, let me quickly cut across to Munish Pandey joining us live for more on that. Munish, this was expected and awaited. Enforcement Directorate now, the central agency jumping in this Muda case, filing a case against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah under PMLA. How serious is this and what does this really mean now? Does the ED entirely take control of the investigation and probe? Is there any powers left with the Lokayukta to probe this matter independently? Can Siddaramaiah continue as the Chief Minister? What more do we know with this regard?
Well, Nabila, certainly this is troubling not only for the Karnataka Chief Minister, but also for all those who have been named as an accused in this case. Because remember, so far only the criminality was being probed by the Lokayukt, by the local agencies. But now Enforcement Directorate taking over the probe, it means that all the transactions, the financial transactions, will be explored by the ED officials. We have been given to understand is that all the documents are with the ED officials. They are going through the financial transactions, and very soon not only the searches will be conducted, but it appears that many high-profile people, including Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, if needed, he can be called in for questioning by the Enforcement Directorate. Also, Nabila, one has to understand that why it is troubling for the Karnataka Chief Minister. According to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, if they want to question anyone, if they want to conduct searches against anyone, or if they want to summon anyone, they do not need permission of any other authority. For example, the local authority from the Home Ministry or the state government, or for that matter, the governor. They do not need any permissions. It means that they will be free to question anyone. They'll be free to ask for any documents, and they will be free to conduct searches at any given point of time. But Nabila, this will have a far-reaching political implications also.
You know, we've seen the ED, if you compare this case now with what has happened with Arvind Kejriwal, ED was probing the Delhi liquor scam. At that point, Kejriwal was asked to resign. He did not. So it appears Kejriwal on his end has already set precedents. Siddaramaiah also digging in his heels here, insisting that he will not resign, saying that he'll face probe, but this is just a complaint, brushing it off as a frivolous one, that this is false, it's just to implicate him negatively, it's just to dismantle the government in Karnataka. Siddaramaiah has more often than not called this vendetta politics by the BJP. If I could also bring in Anaga Keshav on this. Anaga, so long Siddaramaiah has said and insisted, I will not resign. No matter what you do, I will not resign. All right, we have quickly Minister Priyank Kharge joining us on the phone line for more on that. Priyank Kharge, we're looking at Siddaramaiah now being booked by the Enforcement Directorate under PMLA, a very serious allegation. Do you believe now on moral grounds Siddaramaiah may have to resign?
No, firstly, why are all of you surprised that ED has booked Mr. Siddaramaiah? Isn't this the standard operating procedure of the central government? Use CBI, IT, ED, Governor's office to cow down the opposition leader? So we're not.
Priyank, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, well, you say this is vendetta politics, but considering that there was a lot of the details that were drawn out of the way transaction was done, of the way prime property was given in exchange for the property Muda took over, which was way above in valuation than the actual amount that was taken over by the Muda authority, somehow in a way demanded or attracted the ED to jump in on this case. He is a chief minister after all, and ED now taking over this probe only.
Since when did ED start looking into Urban Development Authority land transactions. They are supposed to just look into whatever is the money laundering part of it, or disproportionate assets part of it, or anything. And the investigation is not yet over. I mean, is this a trial that is going on air? Why are we assuming things? The High Court has just given permission for Section 17A under the Prevention of Corruption Act, which amounts only for investigation. Where is that prosecution permission, or where is the investigation agency report that is seeking prosecution?
But here the Enforcement Directorate has booked him in under the PMLA case itself, the PMLA Act. So they're looking at money laundering allegations in this case. And it's with regards to the Chief Minister.
I'm not sure if you and your viewers are also aware that the state BJP president also has been booked under IT and ED. The former Chief Minister, Mr. Yadurappa, also has been booked under IT and ED, and also the POXO's case. And they are talking about moral high ground. This is nothing but a political vendetta. What happened in Jharkhand, what happened in Delhi, what happened in Maharashtra, we have seen all that, and we have seen how Supreme Court has sided and pulled up these agencies. Like I said earlier, we will take this up legally, we will take this up constitutionally.
You know, Priyank Kharge, at this point, Siddaramaiah has said he is going to face investigation. It was different when the Lokayukta was probing this matter. We're looking at a central agency now stepping in, and a PMLA Act is quite serious.
So the Supreme Court themselves have pulled up both the CBI, IT and ED, saying that they are cage parrots and they are acting to the whims and fancies of their political masters. So, at the cost of sounding repetitive, this is an expected ground. The whole idea of using the governor's office, the whole procedural attitude of the governor and the central government's investigation was pointing towards this. It's the standard operating procedures for the last 10 years, ever since the BJP has come in the central government. Why are you surprised at this?
Priyank, is the Congress party completely throwing its weight behind the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah? Are you fully supporting him through this time?
The Congress Legislative Party, the cadres and the High Command of Congress are with Mr. Siddaramaiah. There is no doubt about it.
Is there, for the interim, until the allegations are cleared against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, that he would want to step down on moral grounds until this case is complete and he is proven non-guilty?
BJP has no right to speak on moral grounds. Have they thrown out Muniratna, who's raped people in Vidhan Sabha and Vikas Sauda, who's abused the Dalits, who's used HIV patients for honey traps? Have they thrown out Mr. Yadurappa, who's under a POXO case? Have they thrown out Mr. B.Y. Vijendra, who's facing ITED charges against him? And these people are seeking Mr. Siddaramaiah's resignation. It's the pot calling the kettle black.
We heard, Priyank, there was a huddle among the Congress ministers called by the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah just a few days ago to discuss what could be the road ahead if the case went against him. At that point, it was only the Karnataka High Court announcing its verdict. Now you have a central agency filing a case against the Chief Minister.
Since when did a cabinet meeting start being called a huddle? It was a cabinet meeting, which we all met, and we discussed the cabinet issues and other issues plaguing the government because of the central authorities. That's about it.
All right. So there's no question of a CM change?
Absolutely no.
All right. Thank you very much. Priyank Kharge, Karnataka Minister, there speaking to us. I'm going to quickly cut across. More updates coming in the Muda case with the ED now. Central agency filing a complaint and, in fact, booking Chief Minister Siddaramaiah under PMLA. Divesh, to bring us a lot more on that. Divesh, over to you.
This is a money laundering investigation, as they pointed out earlier, and they will be probing primarily the financial transactions that have happened. So these financial transactions are related to the land which was purchased and then gifted to Mr. Siddaramaiah's wife by Mr. Siddaramaiah, his brother-in-law, who also will book. The complete deal is under investigation now. and ED will be looking into all possible angles. They will be interviewing, they will be recording statements of each and every person concerned, be it the Urban Development Department, be it the Mysuru Development Board, be it Mr. CM Siddaramaiah, Mrs. DM Parvati, and several other people who have been named in the FIR, and also others whose names will come up during investigation. That will be probed by the Enforcement Directorate as per procedure. They will initially collect documents, and as Munish pointed out, the documents are already with the Enforcement Directorate. They are going through the documents, and very soon they'll start issuing summons. They could also conduct search operations, search and seizure operations in this case. But as of now, they are conducting, they are going through the financial transactions, they are going through all the documents, the FIR and other details. And very soon they'll start calling people, they'll start summoning people associated with this case, associated with this probe, to answer questions which are put up to them by ED officers. Also, we are hearing from our sources that shortly a team from ED, shortly within a day or two, a team from ED will be visiting the Mysuru Development Board office, the Urban Development Department also, to seek further details and transactional details.
So from what I understand, Devesh, from you, in the next week is going to be quite hectic. ED is likely to be visiting the office of Muda in Mysuru to try and probe this matter further. Could likely be summoning the Chief Minister as well. That's the big question now. Will Siddaramaiah be summoned, and do we have any idea on when that could happen?
Well, it is for sure that if Mr. Siddaramaiah has been named in the ECIR, he is being probed, he is the prime suspect, accused named in the money laundering case, and he will surely be summoned. We cannot say as of now when he will be summoned, but he will surely be summoned. DM Parvati will be summoned, and the brother-in-laws of Mr. Siddaramaiah will be summoned for sure by the Enforcement Directorate while they are conducting this probe. They will have to answer, they will have to give details of the questions being put up by ED officials when they are summoned.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, there is no question of escaping a summon like this. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who said already and committed that he's going to be facing this investigation, he'll face probe, is yet to, of course, respond to the ED case on him now. But so long, he stood by his words, dug in his heels, says he won't resign and will take this investigation head on. Anaga Keshav, who's tracking those developments on the ground there for us. Anaga, what a big blow to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. But this does not come as a surprise. It was awaited that and likely that the ED would come in on this, and exactly what's happened. Looking at the pattern here, ED taking up this case and filing a case against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah under PMLA. Have you heard any buzz from the Congress party as yet?
Well, Nabila, at this point, the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister is yet to react on this matter. DK Shivkumar is currently touring in Channapatna while the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is having his, usual round of meetings at his home, at his home office, Kaveri. At this point, truly the ED stepping in this matter truly comes as a big blow to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. However, he says, he's defiant on that matter, that he will continue to remain as the Chief Minister of Karnataka. He cites example of H.D. Kumaraswamy, who is currently out on bail but continues to remain as the Union Minister of Steel. So he says when Kumaraswamy can continue remaining as the Union Minister despite the fact that he is out on bail, why can't I also continue being the Chief Minister, is what Siddaramaiah is asking. He says if I should resign, then Kumaraswamy must also resign. That's the kind of demand that we are hearing from Siddaramaiah.
I have a quick question also to Munish before I wrap here. Munish, if you could give us a sense on why a PMLA case is filed. Under what suspicion the ED has filed a PMLA case with this regard against the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah? It was a land exchange deal, 50% policy that they have. We take over your land for development, and in exchange we give you another piece of land, which according to critiques and RTI reports say that it was they were given much more expensive pieces of land in exchange for the land that was bought over. Where does PMLA come in here?
Well, Nabila, as far as Enforcement Directorate's Prevention of Money Laundering Act is concerned, if the case is filed against any person and if there is a predicate offense, there are certain sections of the new BNS in which if the case has been filed, then ED has all the power to register an ECIR in that matter. And in this case, the ED suspects, and why ED has been roped in? Because the ED suspects that in this case, there is a money transaction which is dubious in nature. And that is why Prevention of Money Laundering Act has been applied in this case. Now, what we do know at this point of time is that, an ECIR, which in layman language we can say, an FIR has been filed by the Enforcement Directorate. Soon, searches will be conducted. Later on, the summons will be issued to all the accused, and later on, if ED finds some more suspects in the case, they will be called in for questioning. So it is going to be a huge setback, huge blow, not only for Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, but also because it is ED and what we have seen in the previous cases. And remember, Nabila, as you rightly pointed out, in the case of Arvind Kejriwal, in the case of Hemant Soren, what we saw that the ED's action was, in extreme direction. What ED is going to do in this case, that we don't know. But we have been given to understand is that a special team will be probing this matter as far as, this entire case is concerned.
Well, a huge hurdle ahead for the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and the Congress government in the state. It's now quite natural for the ED to summon him. How often will that happen? This is enough given on a platter to the opposition BJP to fire at now. Thanks very much, Divesh, Munish and Anaga for joining us with those details. India Today, of course, to stay on the story. We will continue tracking very closely Siddaramaiah being pulled up by the Enforcement Directorate, an FIR filed against him under PMLA Act. Slipping into a short break, coming on the other side, Home Minister Amit Shah slamming the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge, calling his comments on Prime Minister Modi as disgraceful, distasteful. Kharge, while he was slightly ill on stage, came back on stage, promised that he will ensure to stay active in politics until Modi is dethroned. He faces huge flack from the BJP for that statement. Stay with us on the other side.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Rangila with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Maharashtra election is such a thrilling story to tell. Conclave is a living, breathing experience of just that. You've had the leaders of all 6 sides present their case to you.
2 साल में इंडस्ट्री बड़े पैमाने पर लाई है और उसके साथ कल्याणकारी योजना, मुख्यमंत्री लाडली बहना, लेक लाड़की लखपति योजना.
Strike rate is one thing. But one, the spirit, the honesty and the principles that we are fighting for.
महाराष्ट्र में नंबर 1 पार्टी बीजेपी थी, बीजेपी है.
We are winning because last 10 years was the lost decade for Maharashtra.
I was happy to give the mantle to Ajit Pawar, more than happy to.
अरे वो मेरे बड़े अंकल है, उनको क्या करूँगा? उनके आंखों में आंखों डाल के मैं देख भी नहीं सकता मैं ऐसा तो.
We hope that we've done our job well, so you can choose well.
Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
हो जा रंगीला रे with Motorola's incredible range of smartphones.
Hello, Moto.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Now, at a rally in Jammu and Kashmir, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge was feeling slightly unwell just yesterday. Prime Minister Modi, we hear, called him up to ask him about his health. Mallikarjun Kharge's health, he inquired about it. And soon after, we saw, right after Mallikarjun Kharge felt slightly ill on that stage, immediately he got back to the podium and said to the crowds there that I will be healthy and active, and I will survive until and unless I push Modi out of power, basically until I dethrone him. Now, the BJP has used as an opportunity to slam Mallikarjun Kharge. In fact, the top BJP netas have been slamming Kharge's words, with Home Minister condemning Mallikarjun Kharge, saying that this is what the Congress is all about, hate-filled, saying that this remark was distasteful, disgraceful. Amit Shah says that such remarks really reflects very poorly on the Congress party and shows their hatred against the Prime Minister. Well, we see that the Amit Shah also at the same time said that he wishes for a long life to Mallikarjun Kharge, that Mallikarjun Kharge is hale and hearty enough to witness the creation of Viksit Bharat in 2047. In response, Kharge launching another attack on Amit Shah, stating that the BJP should focus on real issues rather than engaging in such matters.
स्टेटहुड का तो मैं बोला हूँ, स्टेटहुड जरूर देंगे और उसके लिए हम जरूर लड़ेंगे, चाहे कुछ भी हो। मैं ऐसा ही छोड़ने वाला नहीं। अब मेरे को तो 83 इयर्स चल रहे, इतना जल्दी मरने वाला नहीं हूँ। जब तक मोदी को नहीं हटाएंगे, तब तक मैं जिंदा ही रहूंगा, आपकी बात सुनूंगा, आपके लिए लड़ूंगा।
खरगे जी थोड़ा बीमार पड़ गए, उनको इलाज करना पड़ा, पर अभी ठीक हो गए हैं। हमारे गृह मंत्री को अपने काम पर और थोड़ा ध्यान देना चाहिए, मणिपुर में ध्यान देना चाहिए। आज तक हमारे नॉन बायोलॉजिकल प्रधानमंत्री मणिपुर नहीं गए हैं।
मुझे लगता है कि खड़गे साहब राहुल गांधी के विरोधी हैं।
क्योंकि मोदी जी तो अभी 100 साल बचेंगे और तब तक राहुल गांधी बूढ़े हो जाएंगे, उनको मौका नहीं मिलेगा। खड़गे साहब, आप यही चाह रहे हैं।
Why is he so obsessed with himself? We are not obsessed with them. We don't hate Narendra Modi. We love India. And because we love India, we want to free India from the clutches of Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. I'm very happy to know, to learn that finally Mr. Amit Shah has understood what is distasteful and the meaning of the word distasteful. Hopefully now the narrative coming from the BJP, the discourse from the BJP will become a little more tasteful.
Congress goes any level, this it seems. But I tell this, if Mallikarjun Kharge, his age might be 150 or 125, it will never happen. What he is searching, the PM, Sri Narendra Modi ji will be the PM, well, our Prime Minister will be the 2047 while we are in the Viksit Bharat, our PM will be the PM.
All right, now as I wrap here, we're taking you through veteran Bollywood actor Mithun Chakravarti, who's all set to be honoured with the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. The actor will be felicitated with the award of the 70th National Film Academy National Film Award ceremony that will be happening on the 8th of October. Reacting to this big achievement, Mithun says he has really no language here to express his gratitude and his happiness. Mithun